everybody, Jeppy here, and welcome to Skye's Agent Lore video. This is going to be a great video going over everything we know about Skye's past, who she likes and hates on the Valorant protocol, and the insane potential KO warns us that her powers have. Surprisingly, we actually know a decent amount about Skye's past, which is something that's pretty rare in Valorant's lore. Skye was born in the city of Nimbin in Australia. Nimbin is a really small village on the eastern side of Australia with a population of only around 1,500 people. She grew up on a farm with her family, which is actually nearby one of Australia's wildlife reserves called the Nightcap National Park. So it's safe to say that Skye was pretty much surrounded by animals at all times growing up, which likely led her to her love for them. It's funny that when she eventually obtains her powers from Radiant Knight later in her life, that her abilities were focused around using her animal summons to aid her in battle. It makes me kind of wonder if Radiants have at least a little control of what their powers and abilities are going to be when getting into close contact with a significant source of Radiant Knight. Like, what are the odds that Skye grew up fascinated and surrounded by animals and her abilities just so happen to be wildlife themed? It's just something I was thinking about. What's your guys' take on that? Some people believe that Skye's real name is actually Emily, which is also a pretty rare thing in Valorant to know the agent's real names, but unfortunately we're not able to actually confirm that her name is Emily. The only reason why people think that is because Miranda O'Hare, the voice actress of Skye, said that when she was auditioning for the role that they summarized that Skye was an eco warrior named Emily in her mid-20s. But since Riot never actually came out and confirmed it yet, it still has the potential of not being canon. Also, guys, I just wanted to say something real quick. It would mean so much to me that if you enjoy these videos I make, that you consider subscribing. Only around 12% of you lovely people are subscribed that watch my videos. Now we're really starting to get close to the big 100k, so just a reminder, thank you all for the support. I love you all. Moving on, we know that Skye was a very hardworking person growing up, because when she sees the Mirror Earth agents in battle, this is one of the things she says.
Tell you what, a day working the farm would do these fellas good.
Flash forward to when the first light happened in the year 2039 on Earth. The rifts were opening up all over the world, but Skye honestly had no idea and thought that it was just an area around her in Australia. In Skye's Agent trailer, we see her investigating around the forest, and right below one of the rifts, surprise, is a kingdom facility. Sage was on a call with Skye, desperately explaining to her that these rifts are happening everywhere and they need Skye's help to join the Valorant protocol. After seeing the destruction, especially with the environment, Skye decided to join and became officially the 14th agent to join Valorant. The environment will be a major driving factor in Skye's dedication of work, especially once she joined the VP. We have to remember that she grew up on a farm and lived nearby a nature preserve. We can see in Skye's personal player card titled The Great Reclaimer that she may have an underlying hatred for the kingdom. This looks like the same facility that we see in her agent reveal trailer. The pollution and smog with the green hazy tint looks like some major damage is being done. We also know that when Skye spawns in on the map Haven, she is once again angered and disappointed at what the kingdom has done to another beautiful area.
I can feel what this place used to be. It's dying. What a damn shame.
And some of you may already know where this is going, but her hatred for pollution and destruction of the global and local environment is very apparent when she talks about Viper. Of course, Viper specializes on releasing her extremely toxic smoke clouds she develops that will straight up kill people or weaken them to the point that they are very near death. Skye recognizes that and says this.
I can't believe they're Vipers dumping all that shit in the air. I'll kill her.
So she is so passionate about it that she is ready to kill someone for it. But that's really the only major problem she has with others on the VP. Most of the time, she is a great team player and fun person to be around, even though she wasn't really raised on working as a team.
Not used to working with humans. Usually just me and my pack. I guess it's worse if you guys get shot, yeah?
It's also no secret that Skye loves to work out and takes her personal health very seriously. So much so that she wakes up at the insane time of 4 in the freaking morning just to get a workout in.
Anyone I catch slacking off has to join my morning run tomorrow. Wake ups at 4. Sound good?
Yeah, no, you'd literally have to drag me out of bed and physically move my legs for me to want to get up at 4 in the freaking morning to run, of all things. Continuing on that voice line, there's a really funny one that Neon says to Skye that doubles down on the fact that Skye means business when it comes to her insane early runs.
Skye, I like morning runs, but morning implies sunlight. No more 4 a.m. wake-ups, you maniac.
But Neon isn't the only one that Skye likes to hit the gym with or goes on runs with. Her main workout buddy is Breach, and actually, now that I think about it, I think Breach just might be her best friend on the VP. From other voice lines or interactions I've read, it looks like she hangs out the most with Breach, which is pretty cool. But yeah, here's some funny interactions with Breach and Skye.
Breach, I'm thinking I'll hit the gym later. You in?
So long as it's leg day.
We also know that Skye is a good woodworker and even encourages her teammates to practice it as well. I can pretty much bet that some of the members don't want to practice woodworking at all. Like, I just can't see Reina being like really excited to carve into wood. But yeah, Skye is adamant everyone does it anyways to keep their minds and hands sharp.
Remember everyone, if we survive, woodworking class tonight in the mess hall. Nimble hands, nimble minds.
But when Skye isn't working out in the insane morning hours or practicing her craftsmanship or even tending to the farm, she likes to have fun and chill out, as we all do, but not with other people. She actually likes to spend time with her summons. We can see this in some of the player cards of Skye with her wolf and hawk creatures chilling on the beach, resting in a hammock, or even having a pretty awesome snowball fight during the winter months. It shows that she even cares about the beings she creates, which is pretty cool, to be honest. Also, in the agent takeover on Valorant's Twitter account, we saw Skye hang out with her summons again, eating some delicious food in Vietnam and exploring all the cool sights to see. One thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys is that, at least to me, it looks like her animal summons are directly involved with wooden figures of the animals she's bringing to life with her powers. I first noticed this personally when I rewatched her agent reveal trailer, where she kind of infuses her powers into a bird-like statue or wooden figure, turning that inanimate object into the hawk we all know and love to blind with today. You can even see that very thing happen in game. It's much easier to notice in the dog summon. When we slow it down, we can clearly see that the wooden statue of the wolf is not glowing. Then Skye infuses it with their powers and then summons it into reality, giving it life. It's harder to see with the hawk version in game. Maybe you can see it if you really slow it down. So that got me thinking, could Skye possibly bring anything she really wants to life just by seeing a figure or a statue of that animal or creature? In voice line interactions between Jet and Skye, we hear Jet trying to convince Skye to make super cool summons.
Skye, ever thought about making other summons? Like, lions. Or, dragons.
Tried once. It was not pretty.
So that confirms that she at least tried making other animal summons before, but was unsuccessful. Maybe it takes a great deal of focus or knowledge of her powers in creating an extraordinary summon like a dragon, for example. Maybe that's why KO fears Skye so much. Perhaps in the Radiant Wars in his timeline where KO came from, Skye mastered her powers and was able to bring massive creatures to life like a freaking dragon or maybe even a T-Rex.
I've seen what the enemy Skye becomes. Deal with her now. Trust me.
I mean, that pretty much goes without saying that a Tyrannosaurus Rex running around on the battlefield is much more intimidating and dangerous than a wolf or a hawk. We can see that Skye is starting to realize and tap into her full potential of her powers. Whenever she gets an ace, she has a chance of saying these voice lines.
I can feel it. I can be so much more. How did I get this powerful?
Maybe once Skye realizes how powerful she can become, she stops using her powers for good and becomes more selfish with them. I don't know, it's just a theory. What do you guys think? Well, now let's get into some other voice line interactions of Skye and some other agents on the VP. One thing that's funny is even Skye makes fun of Brimstone.
Brimstone, you old dog. I respect that you've still got some bite. If you break your hip out there, I got you covered. There's a Brimstone over there. That man's a fossil. Put him in the ground where he belongs.
Brim seriously just can't catch a break. Like, he's doing his absolute best out there and would be in a hell of a lot more shape than I would be at his age, and everyone still makes fun of him for it. It looks like Jet and Skye are pretty good friends too, with Skye actually commending her pretty often.
Jet, don't slow down for us. My creatures move fast. They'll keep up. Jet, you little ripper. That was insane. Keep it up, love.
But naturally, Skye isn't really fond of Killjoy. They just have totally different point of views about things, with Skye thinking KJ's robotics are awful and a waste of time.
That Killjoy thinks a few bots will keep her safe? Give me a break. What's so special about that Killjoy's tech? I've got visual sensors too. They're called eyes.
One thing that I think is pretty interesting is the interactions between Skye and Omen. It looks like Skye can sense living things around her and can sort of keep track of them and where they are. Almost like she can feel their presence. Well, when Omen teleports, Skye notices that she kind of loses him for a bit while he does so.
Omen, when you teleport, I don't know, sometimes I lose you. Does that make sense?
It actually kind of does, because a lot of people believe that when Omen teleports, he rips his body apart down to probably a molecular or atomic level and builds himself back up once he finds a place he wants to reanimate. That would make sense, because I guess for the short amount of time Omen technically dies. I'm still working on that theory and I've seen others talk about it, but then also I've seen people deny it, so it's kind of hard to explain it. Another interesting interaction is between Reyna and Skye. It looks like Skye can sense in Reyna that she lost someone important to her. If you want to find out who that person is, watch my Reyna lore video. It's really good.
Reyna, I know that look. I've lost people too. Let's do this for them.
It's also pretty interesting how Skye kind of eggs Reyna on to consume more souls and asks if she's still hungry and wanting to feed more.
Reyna, still hungry? I'm sure my pets can chase out some game for you. Reyna, that was savage. How'd you learn to hunt like that?
But one thing that many people forget about, and it looks like even members of the Valorant protocol do as well, is that Skye also heals just like Sage. Sage is always regarded as Valorant's healer, even in the lore, but Skye can miraculously heal people of their wounds as well. The reason why I think people on the VP forget about that too is with this voice line.
Everyone give Sage a break. Crying over every bruise. I'm here. You can bother me.
It looks like Skye is even yearning to be wanted when people need to be healed as well. She also wants to learn how to bring people back to life too.
Sage, I'll teach you how to control my seekers if you teach me how to raise the dead. Fair trade, I reckon.
So either Skye is just wanting to learn how to become more powerful, or she wants to feel more wanted on the VP healing wise, in my eyes. Well guys, that's about it on Skye's lore so far. I'll keep you all updated if there's any other important pieces of lore Riot adds to Skye, but until then, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to notifications if you're new. Now with all that being said, Jeppy out. All right, let's go.